right, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on? So tonight is the unveiling. The EuroCrypt has been opened, and there's no going back now. So anyway, this is the first episode. We got special guest Jay Real on here. How's it going, man?
Going good, going good. How you guys?
Oh man, enjoying the weather. It's starting to cool down a little bit. So.
Well, it's been what they call the heat index, which is that feels like temperature. Here in Central Texas has been like 115 degrees.
Yeah.
But we got a pretty good rainstorm yesterday, which cooled it down to just like 100 degrees. So
yeah,
for us, that's a cold front. So.
That's what I'm saying. It's come down to about 99, 100. Yeah. Compared to like 120 and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So tonight we're gonna be covering Night of the Zombie, aka Hell of the Living Dead, aka Virus from 1980.
Did you? I also read Wikipedia or something that it was re-released a few years ago with a different dub called Corona Zombies.
Yeah, Corona Zombies. Yeah, they took some shots from it, I believe.
Yeah.
And but yeah. And then the second film we're going to talk about is Amityville 2: The Possession, which personally is my favorite of the franchise, of the Amityville franchise. And then Night Killer-1990, but Jay's never seen none of these, so we wanted to see his reaction on them.
Right. Yeah. So like we've got 3 films there that completely like chalk and cheese, really. None of them are like each other. You've got one that's kind of critically acclaimed, and I think we all know what that'll be. But yeah, it'd be good to see Jay. Welcome Jay on board, and it'd be good to see what he thinks of these 3. But I think I've got a good idea of the 2 he likes, but we will see.
Yeah. And we got some people in the chat. Dead Pit. We got CK or Aaron, one of them. He's saying, have a great show. Appreciate it, man. Gore Guts. Hell yeah. It's time for Dirty Dirt and Demonic Darren. EuroCrypt podcast.
Hell yeah.
And Jay, the real deal, real. Jackson Jack, what the fuck? This is early. Yeah, man. Oh, man, some bangers in the title there. Yeah, Twisted Trucker, what's going on? Vanderhoff, the mayor. I appreciate it, man. Love the new intro. Just picking. I love Jay. Okay, cool. Let's see. Musing Macabre, classic line from Hell of the Living Dead. She may not know much about chemistry, but in bed, her reactions are terrific.
Right, there's so many one-liners in certainly in 2 of these films.
Amityville 2 is great. It's my favorite too. Bruno Mattei was a genius. Never made a boring movie. Nah, that's the thing, man. It's all about entertainment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Vanderhoff says it says Night Killer 1980. I'm sure you meant 90. Yeah, I think so. Right.
There is a Night Killer in 1980 as well, just to confuse things.
Yeah.
I think Jacqueline Smith was in that, if I remember rightly.
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to be 90. But Fat Pig and the Conger, hey dudes, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Hey there, fellas. But yeah, man, I guess we'll kick this thing off with Hell of the Living Dead. So it's basically a secret chemical plant, Hope Number 1, wreaks havoc upon all humanity due to a fucking rat starting a leak at the facility. And then this just goes batshit insane after that, man. Like, it's, in my opinion, I know I'm going to get some shit on this one, but it's better than Dawn of the Dead. I know it's like...
I mean, most films are better than Dawn of the Dead, to be honest.
Yeah. Right. It's more...
If Uncle Bill's watching, but...
Yeah, it's more entertaining anyway to me, but... I was just figuring to kick it off right,
Yeah. The opening scene with the rat is just so hysterically funny, man. When it goes up his, like, his thing he's got on, and it's that you've got blood coming out everywhere. But yeah, what's like Jay? What's your initial reactions to this one, Jay?
I don't say that it's better than Dawn of the Dead, but I would say it's more fun to watch, which is a weird thing to say. I like Dawn of the Dead as a movie better.
Yeah.
As filmmaking, I like Dawn of the Dead better, but I had a hell of a lot of fun with Hell of the Living Dead. But yeah, the beginning, and when I first hear goblin music right out of Dawn of the Dead,
yeah,
and I'm like, well, what the hell? I'm like, well, are they using this illegally? But apparently, no, they were authorized to use the goblin music.
They didn't hire Goblin because that would have cost too much, but they bought the rights to the tracks from somebody.
Yeah, so you got Goblin from Dawn of the Dead and several other movies. Music, you recognize the tracks. Every track you recognize them. But yeah, no, I had a whole lot of fun with this. Actually, when it got to the midway point, it started to get really good for me.
Okay.
But particularly when you start bringing the cannibals into it, and I thought though that's a different sort of juxtaposition, the cannibals and the zombies,
right.
And I thought that was sort of an interesting sort of twist to bring the cannibals into it, and but there's lots of memorable moments, like the girl saying, "Well, she's got to go blend in with the zombies," so she
that is crazy.
It's all painted up, and then you're like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? That one moment.
That's the way it's done. I agree. So.
That's when you realize she's not there for her acting.
Yeah.
But that's one hell of a scene. I didn't see that coming at all.
Or with the cannibal. She has to blend in with the cannibals, and so she just strips.
She's got all the markings all over her, and
puts the paint on, and gets the pasty nipples, and as you do. And I'm sure, like I was listening to the commentary track. I think Troy Howard mentioned he could see somebody later making like a rip-off porno off of that, just off that one scene or some shit.
But you've got to realize with this film as well how stupid that SWAT team is. Like when they get into the house a bit later on in the film, and the one guy starts putting on this dancing like choo-choo and like this little dress and all that, and you think to yourself, these are like trained kind of marksmen, kind of army professionals type thing. Right. But it just goes off into so many little like scenes like that. You just end up, you can't really take it seriously. But I guess that's the point.
The Zantoro guy, he's always pushing his luck throughout the, and it's funny as hell. That guy with the big old crazy eyes and shit,
it goes out there in the middle of him, there's zombies all around him. He's like, yeah, come on.
He's got the fire going, and he seems to be loving it, doesn't he? Like, the confrontation and
he's just having a ball with it,
He can't be fucked with. He's acting like, but
he shows up in a lot of Italian films as well.
Definitely.
We covered a few, haven't we? Like Sex of the Witch, he's in.
Yeah, Sex of the Witch. He was the butler in that one. It's the one with what's her name from I Spit on Your Grave?
Camille Keaton.
Keaton. Shit, I'm blanking on.
He does a slightly pornographic scene in that, doesn't he, as well? Because he strips off.
Man, there is, dude. It's like, well, we won't get into that.
No, man, that's for another show, man.
Yeah, but no, man. So. You got Frank, which that's Frank Garofalo. He was in, like you said, he's also in Colt 38 Special Squad and the other Claudio Fragasso film, The Other Hell. And this one, he's just batshit insane, man. Like, he's great. But
I thought the little boy that turns into a zombie was pretty creepy. I thought, he was good.
Yeah, man. He looks like one of my nephews, actually. It kind of trips me out when I see that shit. Like, I was asking Tasha earlier, I was like, don't that look like Jason? But
oh, shit.
But
but what's with the, like, basically to pad the film out, they kind of put in all these like animal clips just to try and make out that we're in the jungle. So
Yeah,
you see, like,
they
you see
randomly focus on
elephants.
animals. I guess it's
It's like it's on a timer basically. Every 10 minutes they got to randomly show some birds or some elephants, or I think we even see like a coyote eating some kind of little animal as well at one point.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, total stock footage at this point. That was kind of funny as well. It's quite endearing to see things like that.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, you can't go too deep into Hell of the Living Dead. I mean, it's kind of
No.
Well, in in the scene where the cannibals are putting a dead body like on a this rack or whatever, they're carrying this body. That looked real. I wonder if that was actual real footage of an actual
yeah. I mean, it looks. Some of that shit does. The stock footage looks.
And when they're gutting the animals and all that, that all looks just authentic,
right.
I'm willing to bet that probably was real, because the part with that Jay's on about as well, they kind of doing their own kind of funerals, because all these, obviously, these zombies are starting to attack and they don't know what the hell's happening.
Yeah,
but
they can't. They're not
that.
going to burn them, right? That's like one of the things. They're not going to burn.
Yeah,
them.
Be productive and eat them. That's the way you do it. Like, so that was their kind of motto. But yeah, this one's crazy, man. I don't know whether I would actually say it. Technically, it's not as good as Dawn, but by a long way. But
no,
in terms of enjoyment, it is up there for enjoyment.
Right. You got Victor Israel too, the zombie priest guy. He's been in a ton of shit, man. Like ton of westerns, spaghetti westerns. He's always like a character, like a small role character actor. Savage Guns. He's in Banditos, a Dalamono film. He was in The Good, the Bad, and Ugly. In one little, if you blink, you miss him kind of deal. Yeah, he's been in a ton of shit, but I do got a quote from Fragasso. He said, "It was made with a lot of love, but came out a test tube baby, a kind of abortion, but I'm satisfied with the end results."
Yeah. The whole storyline with the two reporters as well. So you've got the one guy, is it Max? I think it's Max. And then he goes and tries to get like video footage of the zombies up close, like an idiot, man. I mean, why would you do that?
I mean, there's all that
away, man.
going on in this film. Why are they doing anything they're doing in this film, right? Like,
well, yeah.
It's like shit, dude. But
when they stumble upon that house as well, out of nowhere, they just find that house and they start going in there and messing around and trying on clothes and stuff, and then you've got the whole family of like zombies in there.
Old boy gets his gun taken and shit, and like I don't know, man. It's what's her name's getting her hair pulled through the window and shit.
Yeah, that was kind of like,
and they take his gun, and I don't know.
That's the Day of the Dead shot, I think they tried to recreate.
Yeah.
There's like a backstory with her as well when she pulls a gun out on them, and then she said like, she was basically raped or something, because it went quite dark for a minute when that came up. But it's only touched upon. It's never really, we don't really know anything that went on, all the details.
Let me catch the chat right quick.
Jackson, go for it.
Jackson Jack says, "Is this the one where the white woman gets naked to go live with the tribe?" Yeah, I guess so.
Not to live with them, but she certainly goes in there to try and
or she has lived with
them. She needs to blend. She needs to blend in. So.
Yeah. He says, "Oh man, you gotta have Uncle Bill here if you're gonna be shitting on Dawn like that."
Yeah, I don't think he'd appreciate that.
And there's so many shots where it's someone being approached by a zombie. Usually it's a woman. Mm-hmm. And she just sort of just stands there and just stares wide eyes. This zombie's coming at her. And she's like, fucking run away. Don't you?
Yeah. You'll find that a lot in a lot of the Italian films. Like,
but they just
standing there.
Stand there with her eyes bugged out and her mouth open.
Yeah.
And here comes a zombie, and it's a slow-moving zombie. They've got plenty of time to get the hell out of there, you know.
Right. Kind of like this scene here.
Leah, come on! Let's get away from here!
She's just sitting there, you know, like, what the fuck's going on?
And you mentioned the scene where the girl's getting her hair pulled in the window by the zombies.
Right.
And the guy's standing there. He's got a gun in his hand, and he takes forever before he finally decides to start doing some shooting. He's just
yeah. Doesn't he tell her to close her eyes or something? Like that's gonna help, you know, when he's trying to shoot them at close range. Man.
And just like we've seen it in several zombie movies, right, where they know to shoot them in the head, but they still shoot them in the body.
Oh God! Most of the time they would shoot him in the body, just waste a whole bunch of bullets, and you know. And then finally, someone speaks up, shoot him in the head. You got to shoot him in the head, you know.
And then Santoro shoots somebody in the body in that elevator later on, and for some reason that zombie dies from getting shot in the body. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah.
That one zombie died from getting shot in the body. I was like, what the hell's that shit?
I mean, you're talking Bruno Mattei, though. You know,
Right.
You're gonna get like continuity errors and that. But the whole like explanation towards the end as well. I mean, we can just give this away anyway. If most people probably, you know, it's 40-year old or whatever. But basically, it was like an experimental chemical like release where she says they're trying to do it to get the world population down. Like, so I'm guessing that's why what Jay said earlier about them re-releasing part of this in a coronavirus type style.
Corona zombies.
Yeah. So that makes complete sense because that's what I was thinking when that came up.
Right.
But I didn't know they did that. I might have to check that film out.
I read a little bit about it. Something about they stole footage from this movie, or did they just retitle the movie? Jay, do you know?
From what I've read, they just retitled it, and I believe it's a new dub.
Okay.
But I could be wrong about that. But I think it's a different dub. And, you know, when Corona popped up, and, you know, so they thought, well, okay, here's a way to cash in on that. So and, just took it and redubbed it and retitled it Corona Zombies.
We got King Carlson asking, he said, where's Amityville 2 on 4K, man? I thought we would get it from VS this year, but doesn't appear so. Yeah. That's one I'm hoping for.
I mean, I just got the bare bones DVD release. I did actually see. It's out on Blu-ray then in America, yeah? I take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I watched it on Tubi.
Yeah.
And we got to mention
on Tubi though. It really.
We got to mention the old lady zombie. She was good.
Oh yeah. You got the little rat punk comes out.
Yeah.
So was that the same? Was that supposed to be the same rat from the facility? Like, you know what I mean? I never thought about it till just now. You know.
I don't know. Maybe there was a pack of them.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too damn much on this film.
But yeah.
But we got Jackson saying Cannibals versus Zombies. I love Hell of the Living Dead, but it feels like 50% of it's stock footage. Yep. Music.
It really does, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this movie as a teenager, but don't remember most of it. Yeah, I'd say go back, check it out. It's pretty decent transfer on Tubi if you don't have it. Doesn't she crowd surf naked on Cannibals? No.
I kind of missed that if that happened.
No, she don't do that.
I know he's on the joke.
Dave Boosty. What's going on? I have on store-bought VHS. Okay, cool. Night of the Zombies, yeah.
Night of the Zombies, yeah, I've heard that title as well.
Yep. The mayor says Hell of the Living Dead. Hell of the Living Spread would be a great porno. Yeah, definitely would.
They did do Erotic Nights of the Living Dead, and I think that was in 81 as well. That was Joe D'Amato.
Yeah.
So there is kind of pornographic zombie
you got
films
Porno
also.
Holocaust.
Yeah, so there's two. Like, whether I would check them out, I highly doubt. But you never know if you get bored one night or something.
Jackson says, is Frank the father of Janine Garofalo? Shit. Dave Boosty, as of 54 nowadays I got to see Amityville 2 for free in theaters thanks to a projectionist friend. Awesome.
Oh, that would have been killer, man.
Yeah. Definitely. Shimmy bang bang. I just ate my girl's ass. I got to see Amityville 3D that way later. I remember that shit when 3D came out. I do remember that Amityville 3D. I didn't see it in the theater, but I just remember it coming on HBO back in the 80s.
I was going to say as well, when we come into that film, how Jay didn't, basically it kind of eluded you, did it, that film, Amityville 2, over the years?
Now, what was that, sir?
Did Amityville 2 elude you over the years? Because I would imagine it played on your TV at numerous points.
In fact, when I was a projectionist at Mahia Theater, I believe we showed it. I believe
Okay.
I believe, yeah. Because what's the year? What's the year is Amityville 2?
82.
82. Yeah, I think maybe I might have showed it then, but it might have been a little bit before I started working there. I'm not positive, but I saw it way back in the VHS days and hadn't seen it since. Honestly, I have never liked the original Amityville Horror. Just never have liked that movie. I've always found it kind of dull, and it just. Yeah.
I mean,
it's something I need to probably revisit because it's probably been 20 years since I've seen it. So,
I do like the original, but like I was a kid when I seen it, and it's just the nostalgia. It freaked me out as a kid, I guess. But like what you say, it is, nobody dies in that one, right? But
right, that's the one that I originally grew up with. I love the original. I get what Jay's saying. A lot of people do say it's really slow and all that. But for me, as a child, it was Poltergeist. Those two played all the time on UK TV. And I love the slow build of the original. I do like this one, though, a lot. But I'd have to say the original's better. Quite a distance.
Texas says, hated the panel of pain. Hey, Jay Real.
What's up, Tex?
Hey.
Everybody's saying, hey, I'm always distracted by the photographer Max because he looks like Yanni.
Right. The guy, the one who gets with the video camera.
And you got Dan Shine in here. Shout out, guys. What's
up,
going on,
Dan?
man? Uncle Bill, wait. Is Dirk shitting on Don again? Shaking my head. No.
It didn't last long. It was only for a few seconds.
Yeah.
I reeled him in a bit.
I'm not shitting on Don. I'm just saying I find Hell of the Living Dead more entertaining. Is all. That's it. Let's see. Great seeing Jay Real live with you guys. Yeah, man.
Definitely, man.
Talking zombie smut tonight. Yeah, for sure. Hello, some living head could be another porn. Yeah. Yeah. Goblins Incorporated. Yeah. I'm trying to get through this chat, y'all. I just ate my girl's ass. Could also be a porn. What the fuck? All right.
Very true.
Is better than the original, in my opinion. Definitely. For me, too.
I think I might be in the minority, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Uncle Bill was summoned. He heard you talking shit about Don. Yeah. Same Jay thought the second one was better. Yeah. Uncle Bill. All right, I'm almost down to the end of this chat, man. Amityville 1 and 2 scared the ever-living fuck out of me as a kid. Yeah.
Definitely.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. Definitely. Justin Marino, Yawn of the Dead. Oh, shit. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Dan Shine, believe it or not, there are a ton of zombie-themed adult movies. Night of the Given Head is a popular one.
Oh, man. Even only Dan would know that.
For sure. One thing Amityville 2 has over the original, incest overtones.
Which were actually cut down a bit, weren't they? Because Dirk was saying...
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, there's a scene that was cut out.
Yeah, let me... I'm almost at the end. Sorry, y'all.
We're not used to having so many comments. That's what it is.
Yeah, the original Amityville Horror is classic. Watch The original Amityville Horror is classic. Watch that shit at a loud volume 2 a.m. Home Alone at night. It's awesome. Yeah. Uncle Bill says, I love Hell of the Living Dead. In fact, Bruno Mattei is probably my favorite schlock film director of all time. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Like you say, with him, it's more entertaining over quality of the film, you know?
Right. So, I guess, like, was there anything else y'all wanted to add to Hell of the Living Dead?
I like the ending with the man at the he sitting in, he's at a park bench, I believe, and
yeah, with his girlfriend, yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And the girlfriend is like, no, I'm gonna talk to this old man, you know, and she's kind of kidding around with her boyfriend, but she shouldn't have done that. So
right, yeah, she's going.
And of course, once again, you get her just sort of standing there going, oh, you know. Instead of getting the fuck out of Dodge, she's just standing there. And
yeah, you got 5, 6 zombies just biting the shit out of you. And you're just standing there, you know. But, you know.
And you've got the demise of the lead woman as well. I thought that was pretty good with the eyes popping out the head. I think it's in the intro that Dirk's got for this.
Yeah, for sure.
And like Jay said, I think it does get better once it hits our middle part, you know. Kind of gets better and better as it goes on, but it's all kind of last 15 minutes is all.
I still laugh. I laugh through the whole
damn thing. Everywhere.
You know,
yeah, that's the way to watch it. Though.
You know, like say the first half of it, and with of course the goblin music, just you know, of course it's right out of Dawn of the Dead, you know, and I just kind of thought they're just sort of remaking Dawn of the Dead to me.
Yeah,
the first
exactly.
Sort of, and then once they started bringing in the cannibals and stuff, and the girl strips down and all that, and it started, well, this is starting to get fun. And when you bring the cannibals into the mix, it was more interesting, more visually interesting. And then the zombies got better. The makeup got better, and
the choices got dumber.
Yeah, the choices got much dumber because they get shooting them in the body over and over and over again. They get shooting them in the body, and. Yeah. But there's some good gore effects, and it just got a lot more fun in the second half, where I started to really enjoy it. You know.
So what would you rate? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I was going to say the same. What would you rate this, Jay? Out of 10?
I give it an 8.
8 out of 10. Okay.
Ooh, that's high.
Yeah. What do you say, Darren?
Right. So it's gone down a little bit. In my estimation, I didn't quite enjoy it as I did the first time, but for me, it's like a solid 5 or 6 at best, I would say. But you know what you're getting yourself into when you watch this, anyway. But yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, man. It's entertaining as hell. It's fun. It's throw it on anytime kind of deal. So, but yeah, man, I guess we'll move into the Amityville 2. The Possession, a much more darker film. No, not a lot of jokey jokes, laughs. There is one that I find pretty funny, but yeah. But anyway, it's based on you know, the true Amityville, DeFeo. It was based on that, but they had to use one book, right? There's 2 books. Yeah. I'm trying to remember now. Shit.
The one's called Murder in Amityville.
There you go.
By Hans Holzer.
Right. Yeah, so
that's kind of the main one.
The DeFeo murders, there was like 6 people murdered. Like Ronnie DeFeo Jr. murdered his whole family in real life, and that's what the first Amityville was based on, which this one I would say is more like a prequel to the, you know, it kind of shows the story, but not exactly. And this is, I mean, it's like I said, much darker film. But I got a synopsis. An abusive husband, father, his wife, and their 4 children move into their new home, but the darkest presence is there lurking and has targeted Sonny, the oldest son. So, but shit, man. I'm trying to see. Tommy Lee Wallace wrote the screenplay. In case y'all don't know who that is, Halloween 3, Did that. He did Fright Night 2.
At one of the Texas Fright Room weekends, I rode in the elevator with Tommy Lee Wallace and had a little conversation with him.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I never got to meet. I've never met him. That'd be killer.
It says as well that Dardano Sacchetti helped write the screenplay as well. Obviously, those two wouldn't have been together, so I presume they took elements of both their stories they made and then
really?
created it. Yeah, yeah.
As
I
director,
was shocked when I seen that.
I almost skipped the director, Damiani. And,
Right.
So he's known for a lot of crime films. I think he's got 7 to 10 Italian crime films. Policio Teschi.
Yeah.
He's got this one film that I still want to check out. It's a giallo, I believe, though. It's A Complicated Girl. Got Florinda Balkan, chick from Don't Torture a Duckling.
Yeah, Rather Complicated Girl. I think it's 1968.
Yeah, Rather Complicated Girl. Right. That's 68. Had a trilogy about the mob, The Day of the Owl, Confessions of a Police Captain, and How to Kill a Judge. This is his first and last American film. So,
that surprised me when I read that as well, because this is such a great, competent film. So creepy, all the way through as well. And it ramps up. It does ramp up, the violence and certainly the gore effects than the first one. The first one's played almost the first one's almost just like a normal haunted house film, innit? We do get little bits here and there of what goes on, but this kind of just goes completely dark. Even so much go on, Dirk. Sorry.
There's 2 cut scenes though that they cut out of this. So there's one scene that was cut where the father, he basically, anally rapes his wife.
Yeah.
They cut that scene out. And then the other scene that was cut was the incest scene. It actually showed him having sex. And the guy that did the score for this, damn. What, you got it? You got his name?
Lalo Schifini.
Yeah, he did the original score. He was going to do the original score for The Exorcist, but test audiences said that shit was too scary. And one of the trailers of the original Exorcist, his music is in that trailer, though.
Yeah, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
But those 2 scenes that were cut, actually played to a test audience. Right. So they actually filmed them and everything. Nowadays, I don't think anyone can get hold of that footage at all. But Jay, like you say, what was your initial reactions to this one, Jay? And give us your thoughts.
I quite enjoyed it. In like I say, with the first one, and of course I'm old as hell, so I turned 59 in a few weeks. So
alarm for what time?
I didn't say anything to you, Alexa.
I thought I heard my name.
Sorry, she thought she heard her name. But anyway, when this came out, I was probably 13, 14 years old, And so I'm kind of getting at that sort of cynical age, I guess, where I'm not just having fun with everything, And I saw it. I don't know if I saw it in the theater. Might not have been until VHS that I saw it. But I don't know. I just always thought the original was just sort of almost dull. And the what they tried to do to make it scary, for me, I just almost found almost laughable. This the get out and the and all that.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me.
Right.
Now, it's been forever since I've seen it, so I need to revisit it and see if maybe I would have a different opinion of it now. But this movie just starts at level 10 just from the get-go,
Right.
And you got Burt Young from the Rocky movies, who's the worst father in the world. He's just, my God.
Yeah.
And, there's ghost painting shit on the wall. What is it they painted? What is that they paint?
Said kill the pigs or something.
Yeah, well, no, hang on. Just a minute.
Dishonor thy father.
Dishonor thy father, pigs. And he accuses the kids of painting that. These little 6, 7-year-olds aren't going to paint dishonor thy father on the fucking wall. You know,
Right. And those kids were real brother and sister too.
You know, and everything that happens, he there's a couple of times he slaps him around. It's just like, my God, he's the worst father in the world. I can't wait for this man to die.
Yeah.
Well, Ronnie DeFeo in real life though was that way, from what I understand. I also found out he had like real life mafia ties, and they said that like there's rumors that he killed a few people too. So,
but
the
other thing that kept popping in my head throughout watching this movie, and like I said, I don't even remember anything about it. It's been so long since I've seen it. How much there's several shots that are just, they're not out of Poltergeist because Poltergeist came later, but I was like, Poltergeist ripped the fuck off this movie. There's shots that are just right out of Poltergeist in this movie. And it's just like where it's just like, you know, Spielberg or Toby Hooper or whatever watched it and just copied, you know, just not only just shots, but just the intensity or whatever just come right out of Amityville 2.
I can see that as well. I can see bits of The Exorcist in there as well.
Right.
Because you've got the bit with Diane, you know, is it Diane Franklin? And then when she goes all, you know, she tries to come on to the, you know.
When she says, I got a clip of that. I'll play it now.
Dirty priest. You wanted it!
Yeah. Spot what film they're ripping off there.
But I mean,
I'd seen her in Last American Virgin.
Yeah.
But which one would come first? Was it this one or that?
This came before that. Yeah.
Okay, so
this is her first role.
Right, so that's where she landed the part for Last American Virgin.
She's 20 years old in this one, so you don't have to feel guilty, I guess. Watch it.
No, man.
But I mean, so it's the possession scene though. It's like a 9-minute scene with no cuts.
Yeah,
that's insane. Like
the camera work in that is,
and those cameras were a lot heavier back then, right? So that when he's going through the doorway and it flips upside down and shit, like how the hell they do that? Like I'm still scratching my head. Like I don't know how the hell that was done, but you know where he's got the gun and the camera goes over him when he's going through the doorway, and the demon or whatever is chasing him. You know.
I presume they must have had at least 2 people operating the camera because of like you say, it's heavy. But it's still, I don't know how they produced that without putting in like a little edit or a little cut in between. But
but it's pretty insane, man. That whole sequence, that 9-minute, it might be less than 9 minutes, but not much. That possession scene's gold.
And the basement is just constantly dripping water. I mean, it's just, you know, the basement is just like, it's like raining in the basement. There's just water dripping constantly in the basement. It's like, man, get that shit fixed. That'd be the first thing I'd get fixed in that leaking basement.
And that one mover, they're moving all the shit, and he just takes it upon himself to go down there, right? Like,
he says you've got another room in the house or something, and then he just goes to investigate. She gives him a flashlight. Right. And then I presume that's where all this kind of evilness like is lurking in the first place.
Right.
But it's not really touched upon anything with the failed murders or anything. Because I think for legal reasons as well. Yeah, for legal reasons.
But it does, like, definitely the father. There's one scene where he puts the gun to the father's head. Well, that happened in real life.
Right, yeah.
And he actually pulled the trigger and it, you know, it clicked. There wasn't nothing in it. So that did happen, but of course in the film he don't do that.
But it's definitely
there's something that I missed, and I don't know if it's explained, is who the ghosts are.
Well, I think they tried to say it was like an Indian burial ground. But
Yeah.
see, it sounds funny to us now, but back then that wasn't done a whole lot, you know.
Well, there was Poltergeist 2, but that came after, didn't it? So
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, Poltergeist
film
2 was
started doing it,
86.
but I mean,
Yeah.
that wasn't done a whole lot when they did it.
I love the
Excuse me.
score to this as well, because it does kind of sound a little bit like the original with the like this kind of like this like I'm not going to recreate the music, but
Go ahead, Darren.
it's that
Go
like
for it.
lullaby and that really
Yeah.
creepy kind of women's voice or like a young girl's voice or whatever singing. It's really great. Like
And the
and from the
sounds
start,
of the demon or the house or whatever sounds like screaming and crying at the same time. It's a very
yeah.
unsettling kind of deal going
And I
on.
mean, you've got the Changeling as well come out a couple of years before this as well. I can see bits of that. You know, this it's kind of this mesh of and put together really well, but straight from the off, like I say, with the music, and then you've basically got all the blood coming out the sink when they move into the house. You've got this very dysfunctional family. Diane Franklin, just absolutely gorgeous. Like we say, she's legal, so you can say that. But
Yeah.
the creepiness between her and her brother is really unsettling. I would imagine. I can remember watching it as a kid, and even that creeped me out then. Like even
Yeah.
now, it's still.
Well,
You know,
the scene where he says, "Now, what is it? Undress for me or whatever." She just
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't think that's the weird at all. Oh, okay,
Right. And then later on, after they get it in or whatever, then she's all coming back to him saying, "Do you feel guilty about it? Because I don't." I was like, what
yeah, that's even more stranger because the mother picks up on it, doesn't she? And she slaps
Oh, yeah.
her, gives her a whack.
But the mother don't say shit to Sonny, right? Like
No,
nothing at
he's
all.
like the golden boy.
Yeah.
He basically can do no wrong.
You know what you
But-
did with your brother.
Yeah, it is really weird scene because at first she's like you say, she just goes with it.
Yeah.
Whether he's kind of hypnotized her into like falling in love with him or anything, I don't know. But there's some strange kind of dynamics going on, like between
I think
the two.
it's the house, though, right? Like, I don't know. We don't know nothing about how they were before, but
Right? Yeah.
you can look at it like that. I think maybe the house is because everybody in the family's acting weird, right? Like, look at the sister, the way she does her little brother with the bag over his head and shit.
Yeah.
So it's
Crazy,
like, you're gonna kill him with a plastic bag. She's like, "Oh, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding." I was like, "What the hell?" But
we messed around as kids, like, but I never put a plastic bag over someone's head and pretend to try and kill them.
Right.
I never come into play,
That's what I'm saying. Everybody in the house and losing their fucking mind. The mother, is her name Lorraine? I want to say Lorraine, but I don't think it is.
You can just say the
Dolores.
Yeah.
So she's, she loses her mind and scratches the shit out of her husband, which that's kind of out of character for her as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, the cast in this are great. Even the guy who plays the priest, he's not as good as the original.
That's James Olsen.
I remember his face coming up a lot.
He was in Andromeda Strain. He did a lot of TV work. Columbo, Hawaii Five-0.
That's where I've seen him then when I was younger, growing up.
Oddly enough, man, he was an MP in the U.S. Army. And
okay.
And he's in Commando. That's like one of his last roles. 1985 Commando.
Yeah,
he was Major General Franklin Kirby. But that's one of his last shit. But he's great, man. James Olsen is great in this film. He sells it. I think that priest.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Like the look in his eyes is like, holy shit, dude.
There's not one weak member of the cast. I don't think everyone plays their part to the full.
The ending, kind of right out of The Exorcist, where he sort of sacrifices himself to the spirit, the demon spirit or whatever, the ghost spirit, to come into him. I
would have liked them to go a different way with that because it's
Yeah.
cliche, and by that time it would have been cliche, like
Because it is pretty on the nose, almost exactly like the Exorcist.
yeah. But
At the
maybe
end.
that's what they were trying to do anyway,
But-
just to get the the people to watch it.
I wouldn't say the whole film's that way though. Like, no way. It's not, scene for scene like the Exorcist.
But they're all like this family are all religious apart from the father, is it? I think the father just doesn't go to church or anything, and he ends up going to church at one time because the priest basically he orders the priest out the house, doesn't he, when he comes to bless it. But that's a creepy scene when Sonny's on his own in the house, and they're all off to church.
That's
and
what I was
then
saying. The
when it all
9-minute
starts to
possession
go-
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah.
You could play that scene back, and every part of that, you got a little jump scare as well.
The cinema. I didn't get this. I should have wrote his name down, but the cinematographer, he did 4 Flies on Grey Velvet, Who Saw Her Die, and Hitchhike. And Hitchhike. That's 3 films that he also did the camera work on. So.
Because that's what I was going to say as well. Like the Italian connection to this, obviously, is the director.
Yeah.
But wasn't it? I think it's it was produced by Dino De Laurentiis. He was a big name in Italian cinema at the time.
Right.
But most people will probably see this as like an American film, I presume.
Yeah, most people would, but it's
heavily influenced by Italian.
It's American and Mexico co-production, but it did well though, man. It was a $5 million budget, made $12.5 million. So there you go.
Wow, yeah.
Roger Ebert said this was superior than the first film.
So I hear that a lot. Like I say, I'm in the minority because Uncle Bill feels the same, Jay, and yourself. So I get it though. I love them for they're completely different films. I love them for different reasons. But you've got to mention the gore effects towards the end as well when he's changing.
Oh yeah, that's
Absolutely
kind of
superb.
weird. It's great, but it's kind of, you'll see that the same demon thing in part 3 as well.
I don't think I've seen part 3.
Okay.
How many Amityville films have there been made?
Shit. I want to say at least 8, right?
Yeah, but that's officially. They've made I think it's 9, 8 or 9. But because Amityville now is basically anyone can use the title. It's not copyrighted or anything. So it's probably more in the hundreds because there seems to be an Amityville film coming out every few months now. It's crazy. But I think it's about 8 or 9 of the original series. And didn't they go off into the Friday the 13th TV series style where the lamp gets possessed or something? And
yeah, there's the I remember the lamp one. It's got old boy from Graveyard Shift. I can't think of his name.
Okay. Would you recommend any of them? Any of the sequels?
I would recommend that one. I can't remember which part that is, but let me catch the chat right quick, y'all. Dan says, say what you will, Bruno Mattei never failed to make an entertaining movie. Right.
I completely agree.
You got Danny Dundada. What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
Dark Star 69. I always thought it was weird that Romero would bitch about Fulci's Zombie, but never said a word about Hell of the Living Dead, which blatantly ripped him off.
I wonder if he ever seen it, though. That's the thing. I think he would have seen Hell of the Living Dead.
Yeah, maybe not. Especially with the Goblin score and the blue outfits and shit. Shit. Jackson Jack says, I'd give it a 4 or 5. I only watched it as a teenager for The Naked Lady. Okay, he's talking.
I can see, yeah.
We're kind of backed up in the chat a little bit. Let's see. Danny Dundada, Burt Young was a bad motherfucker. Yeah, he's a great actor, man.
He was in this, yeah.
Yeah. Don't you tell me how to raise my kids. Yeah. Yeah, with that priest.
Yeah.
Got Live Style Rewind. What's going on?
Hey,
dudes. I give Hell of the Living Dead a 5, and that's generous. Okay. Yeah.
That's where I'm at, I think, as well.
Let's see. It reminds me of life. Great fucked up movie facts. Yeah. Frankie Sanchez, I got some mean head while watching Amityville back in '84.
Oh shit, that's an experience.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. The more you know. Shit. All right, let's see. Yes, Amityville 2 is the story of DeFeos before the Lutzes from the first film. Yeah. Yeah, they had to change some things, though, because they didn't have the rights or whatever.
He actually lost the case, though, didn't he? George Lutz actually took the producer De Laurentiis to court and lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know what the payout was or anything. But
well, see,
yeah.
and the weird thing about, like, I was kind of digging in a little bit. I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I dug in a little bit on the DeFeo case, and that's pretty wild shit, man. Like, Dawn, his sister, Ronnie Jr., you know, he didn't even live in the house. He had a wife in another house, and they planned the murder of their dad. And they were on heroin and LSD and shit. And he killed the dad, and she killed the mom. I think she killed all the other siblings too, is what people say. But he got blamed for all that shit. He did kill her though. He killed his dad and he killed her. So.
But he was like a massive heroin addict, and like people in the neighborhood were saying, like they weren't surprised when it happened.
Right. And that was his defense. Really good, that was his defense too. That like he was possessed, you know, by a demon.
Yeah. Well, there's a really good UK TV series. You know, I think it's in 3 or 4 parts. That's recently come out like a few months ago, and it delves really deep. They're like hour-long episodes, and it goes through the whole kind of deal in like 5 hours or something, which I would recommend checking out. I was going to say as well, while we got Jay on, anyone in the doing the comments, any questions for Jay regarding anything goes, like, or you know what I mean when I say that, in terms of film and nothing personal or anything. So yeah, just
people should know from the previous show I used to do, I'm overly honest. So
yeah, that's the way, man. That's the way to be. That's what we try to be and Dirk tried to be.
I mean, with my own show, the Being Real show, I've cut back on that. My sharing of myself, I don't share quite as much anymore.
You had some pretty racy episodes with Dana.
So I've trimmed it down some. So.
Right. Jackson Jack says the Lutz family was working with DeFeo's lawyer to come up with the haunting story to better support his defense of DeFeo in court. Okay.
Right. So I don't want to jump in while Dirk's doing the comments and that, but with the whole Lutz thing, obviously both of you know the whole story. Do you think he actually made up the haunting in real life for the first film?
Like my personal opinion, I think
it was a book and a film, and
it was a cash-in thing. Is what I
think there's any element of truth to
I mean, who knows? Who's to say though? Like I wasn't there, you wasn't there.
Yeah.
Other people that lived there said nothing happened, so I don't know.
But they must have been pretty genius though to buy that house and then work out how they can make these book deals and film deals.
They did pass a lie detector test though, him and his wife.
I actually think there's something to it. I obviously not to the extent where you see in the films with all the.
Well, they even said it wasn't nothing to that degree. It said,
they said that, probably. Go on, sorry, Dick, go on.
They said that I think is it William Lutz, right?
George Lutz, yeah.
George Lutz. He said there was like black stuff in the porcelain in his toilet, like in the actual glass, the porcelain glass in the toilet, and they had plumbers come out and said shit that. There was green shit coming out of his keyholes of the doorknobs, and I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to believe, but whatever.
Probably more in line with the original film, then, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, but I don't know, man. It's the I was trying to find where I was. Wait, where was that? Holy shit. First Amityville is about the Lutz family that moved in Second one is like a prequel about what happened with the DeFeos. It's all a hoax, though, other than the murders. That's kind of what I
There you
think.
go.
Too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something to the haunting, but not to the extent where what happened. But
Vanderhoff says, doesn't this one have the incest? Yeah, definitely does. Mikey's new haircut. Glad to see Jay Real on with you guys. Dana's show has gotten boring as hell since he left. Holy shit.
No comment.
no
right.
comment.
Vanderhoff, Diane Franklin was hot in Last American Virgin.
She was, and that's where I originally seen her. And she could have gone on to a much better career than what she did. I know recently she's come out the woodwork a little bit, and she's doing YouTube interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
But she got such a beautiful, at that time as well, such a beautiful face, body, everything. She had the whole thing, and she could act as well.
I remember the first time I seen her was in Better Off Dead, though, I think.
I don't think I've ever seen her in that one. But yeah, she had the whole package.
There's an interesting documentary with one of the Lutz children who says that George Lutz was an abusive nut, and then he brought on the supernatural aspect by doing occult rituals in the house.
I think I've seen that one as well. Yeah, because he was he used to beat up on his wife all the time, and children obviously as well. It's not good, man.
Let's see. Yeah. I'm just kind of going through the chat, y'all. Sorry.
No worries, man.
Got TJ Frizzy. What's going on?
What's up, TJ?
Hey, TJ. It's been forever since I've...
Yeah, I've not spoke to him either for a long time.
Last American Virgin was 92, and then she was in Better Off Dead. Yeah. Typo night. Okay. All right. Night. I'm getting lost with this chat, yeah. Sorry. I'm gonna pause it for a second. But yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on with the DeFeo case by itself. I mean, you can check into that, man, like for hours and hours upon hours.
Well, my personal opinion about that is my sister has had sort of an experience where she thinks she's seen a ghost, and her husband at the time saw the same ghost. And I don't discredit little sightings and things like that, but to the extent that they claim was going on, I don't believe any of that. I think that was just all
cash grab.
Yeah, and yeah. I don't believe. So.
You know, Ed and Lorraine Warren were on this. They were on this set while this movie was being made too. Like they were demonologist advisors while they were.
Those two got around. They were everywhere, man.
Right.
They turned up in Enfield as well for the Enfield poltergeist case in the UK, in London. I think it was like 77, and they just turned up out of the blue and expected, to. I think they stayed for one night or they stayed for one day, and they couldn't really say anything was going on there. But that's a case I highly recommend if both of you haven't really delved deep into that, because there's another 4-part series on TV all about that case.
The Enfield poltergeist?
Yeah, the Enfield poltergeist. Obviously, they did it in Conjuring 2, which I've not seen, and I never will, I don't think. I've seen bits of it. But the original case, look into that. There's a documentary on YouTube called Interview with a Poltergeist. And it is the creepiest fucking thing I've ever seen, man. I remember watching that when it first came out.
I've seen some still images of that shit.
And she says the voice of this old guy coming through her.
They actually played that in the movie, I think they did. They played it at the end or something. I've seen something. So I have heard the actual audio though. Yeah. And
this guy basically says, I died in a corner of the room downstairs in a chair. I went blind. I had a hemorrhage. And how would she know all this? And then the son come in then of the guy who's supposed to have died. And he said, yeah, everything you've said is true. His name's William. I think it was William, or he said everything you said is true. So That's a case I highly believe in. I don't know what Jay's thoughts are in, because you basically just said, but do you believe in any sort of supernatural at all, or until you see it for yourself? Is it
I personally don't have any experiences that I could recall, but pretty much everyone in my family say they have had an experience of some kind of seeing, who they say is a ghost, or they feel like is a ghost, or just feeling. And of course, you get weird feelings like deja vu, things like that you think, well, maybe there's something else going on than just,
right.
the normal frame of the world or whatever, So, but I don't discredit. I pretty much don't discredit anything. I don't say, well, no, that's impossible. That doesn't happen, or anything like that. To the extent that was claimed in, here, I don't believe that.
Right.
But I don't discredit supernatural occurrences. And in working on my little short films and stuff, I've had incidences where, it feels like something is not working out. And then, like, the actress I cast for my last film, she quit us after we had shot 30 minutes of the film. And then I just went a couple of months where I just thought it's not going to happen. And then had a girl contact me, said she was interested in the film, and she just turned out to be just perfect. It's just like she was the actress that needed to be in the movie. And it's like I needed to get her in the film. So the first actress needed to quit. And I just feel like sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to work out. And I don't know if you call that supernatural, but I feel like there's just something at work that sort of evens things out for you and makes things happen the way they should happen.
Right.
I've had that, myself. Even regards to doing these shows as well, or doing the show I'm doing with Dirk now, because I used to have a podcast with my nephew, and kind of that fell through. But I felt like it all came together when I started doing Subjective Perspective Collective with Dirk, and it's kind of like it was meant to be. So I know where you're coming from. Yeah.
TJ says, Jay, how's your movie production going?
I finally have cast one of the lead actresses. There's two roles, two sister roles. Yep. I cast the older sister, and once again, how things just seem to be happening the way they're supposed to happen. I did a video chat with her. She just looks like she just crawled out of the script. She looks exactly the way I envisioned the character looking. She got short black hair. And she read some lines, and I just thought she's just perfect. She seems like she's going to be just perfect. So yeah, I've cast one of the lead characters. Got 3 more roles to cast, and I'm dealing with sort of a heavy subject with child abuse and that kind of thing, which you don't see any of that in the film, but you have characters that have dealt with that subject. And I've got 2 male characters that basically are going to play former child molesters, so that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun finding those roles.
Right.
But I tried to write the characters as interesting characters and human characters, to where that even though you're not playing a good guy, that hopefully I'll find the actors for those roles. So.
Do you go into the films you make though with a specific time limit on how long it's going to be? Because I'm trying to think what Dawn on a feature length film, was it?
No.
Sir?
Was Dawn a feature length film?
Yeah, Dawn was feature length. That's the only feature length film I've made.
How long is it? I watched it.
It's 90. I think it's like 99 minutes, something like that.
Is it?
It's about an hour and a half.
Oh damn! I must have seen something else then.
And well, you might have saw Dawn Year 7, which was sort of a prequel short film I made.
Okay.
Which
That's
takes place
probably
3 years before the movie Dawn. I made that 2019, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the original Dawn was filmed in 2002, and we had two theater screenings in 2003, and then J.R. Bookwalter from Tempe picked it up in 2006.
Okay.
So it's 21, 22 years old. Yeah.
Damn.
So that's way out of print then. That's probably a collector's item.
But anyway, what was your question again as far as the
In terms of time limit, so say you're filming like your upcoming film now, if you've got like, do you want to keep it to like half an hour, or are you going to go longer, or does it just happen, what happens kind of thing?
With the short film, I try to keep it around 25 minutes. Now, usually it's around 26 minutes, or
Okay.
But I usually that's sort of and I enter them into film festivals, and I find that the film festivals, they like short films to be around the 25 minute mark, to be considered a short film. I'm sure anything under a half an hour would probably be considered a short film, but I try to keep mine around 25 minutes.
With the storyline you just mentioned, though, would it be okay to put that, do you think, on YouTube, or will you just keep that private?
Yeah, I mean, there's, some F words, but yeah, there's no, even though you're dealing with characters that have dealt with that subject, child abuse, particularly the younger sister was abused.
Right.
But there's no depiction of child abuse in the film.
So it's just like an undercurrent in the
Exactly.
storyline.
There's characters that either have committed the crime or have endured the crime.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't forget to. Yeah, you just had to put it in. All right. I love it. Oh. The mayor says the Warrens are huge con artists. I remember hearing Ed Warren telling the guy that would write their books, just make something up, but keep it spooky. Okay.
She was really creepy looking, wasn't she? She kind of like had this, I don't know, it's just really creepy the way she was and all that. Kind of reminds me of Zelda Rubinstein in that type, just something, you can't put your finger on it, but it just come across as really weird. And yeah.
These dudes are proper. Listen up. I appreciate it, Don Dada.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Yeah, man. It's been let's see. I'm kind of all over the place a little bit, but trying to
probably got so many comments coming in because we're not used to all this.
Right.
Being on Dead Pit now, like, it's probably a bit more.
Yep. So check out some of the scores that the is it Lalo Schifrin? Check out some of these scores he did.
Yeah.
Okay, he did Mission Impossible, the original Mission Impossible score.
That's insane.
He did. I already mentioned the initial trailer for Exorcist.
Yeah.
Terrified. I mean, Dirty Harry. He did Dirty Harry.
Okay. Yeah.
He did Enter the Dragon. And Cool Hand Luke. So
man, you're talking high
some
end.
big ass films, man.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah. Was there anything else you want to add to The Exorcist? I mean, Amityville 2, The Possession?
It does feel
Tripping,
like
man.
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Towards the end.
We'll keep
I
talking about
don't
The
know if Jay
Exorcist.
wants to take it away. Have got anything else you want to add, Jay?
I guess not. Like I say, the feel, like you mentioned, it's kind of Exorcist and Poltergeist. But and of course, this was before Poltergeist. But no, and there's really not a dull moment in the film. It starts off at almost at level 10 and just stays there.
It's a much darker film.
It's very dark, and like I say, you're Burt Young being so abusive and being, it not only is it a horror film, but it's kind of almost a character study too, in abusive relationships, abusive father, and
yeah, it's a high recommendation for sure. Anybody hadn't seen it, I'm sure most everybody here has. But Ben Davis says Jay should see if Vinegar Syndrome will distribute Dawn on Blu-ray.
It's whether you get. Would you be able to upgrade that to Blu-ray though with the elements you've got? I'm not sure.
Well, I converted it to an MP4 file because it was shot on that digital video, those tapes, you know.
Yeah.
That's how it was shot, black and white. It's full frame, and I converted it to an MP4 file. And a friend of mine kind of did a director's cut a few years ago, which would be the cut that if I ever put it up on YouTube or did anything with it, would be the cut that I would use. Where originally J.R. Bookwalter, the movie ends. You have these characters dying. It's kind of a murder-suicide. The father kills the daughter, then kills himself. And then there's like a few second break, and it goes to 5 years later, and there's a coda. Well, Bookwalter wanted me to end it with the two characters dying and just go right to credits because that would be more shocking, because he was, the films he distributed were mainly horror films. So that's what I did. And then the coda came after the credits. Well, I was feeling, might have been a lot of people that never saw that coda because they stopped it when the credits rolled, But the original cut has the coda after the characters dying at the end. And that's the cut that I would put out now.
Did you do a commentary track at the time of his first
Yeah,
release?
the DVD that Tempe put out, there's a commentary track, there's a gag reel, and a few trailers. But yeah, there's a commentary track that I did with Ray, who plays the father, Casey, who played Dawn, and the cinematographer, my friend Mark Sawyer, who passed away in 2010.
I mean, I can definitely remember your friend Ray Baker. I remember the little skit you did on Haste of 1,000 Corpses, which is superb.
Yeah.
I think Dead Pit put it up on their channel like a long time ago.
I saw that not too long ago. That's still on YouTube.
I listened to one of your Chester
Grimm.
Yeah, I listened to some of that not long ago. It was probably 3 or 4 months ago. CK had thrown some of that stuff up on Patreon or whatever. But
well, I'm not really friends with Ray anymore, but I will say he wrote and directed most of those, and I still think they're really funny.
He's a talented guy. He was a talented because he played the clown like really well in that skit. And you played Stucky, I think, yeah? Yeah.
Dan Sean says Saturn's Core would definitely put Dawn on Blu-ray.
I would imagine a lot of companies would. Yeah. Especially nowadays as well.
Mayor,
they're crying out for titles.
He says, I was just looking for Amityville 2 Blu-rays on eBay, and most of what I found were Region B. Yep. Imagine so.
And there's no extras, I don't think, on those either.
It definitely needs a release, for sure.
Oh God, if this hit 4K, I think it'd be a really good, strong.
Give some love, Jay. Dan says, I think you did a really good job on Dawn. I can easily see it gaining new fans with a Blu-ray release. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Is there any way people can see Dawn now, Jay?
No, and I need to. I'm probably pretty soon going to put it on YouTube because, like I say, I converted it to an MP4 file, which is a much smaller file, easier to work with. Yeah. And I need to put it on YouTube and put it on my channel. So
folks, you could even do it private, and just give people the links to go in and check it out privately if you didn't want it, on YouTube itself.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, shit. I guess. Was anything else y'all wanted to add to Amityville 2: The Possession before we rate it? So,
it completely holds up today as it did when I was a young kid, but you can't say that about Money. I think most people probably would have seen it. It was in the chat and what have you, but I think for that time period, because You had the Changeling, you had the Entity. You had such a great period of time in the early 80s for these creepy kind of like, I don't know what you call them, like possession ghost films or whatever, haunted house films. But no, yeah, just great film. Just great film. I interesting to see what you rate it, actually.
Got a question for you, Darren. Jackson Jack says, Darren, did you used to write into the old radio show at Dead Pit? What was your name back then?
Yeah, so yeah, I was writing it in. I remember Jay in the early days as well. Q-Boy 2K5. I wrote in quite a few questions and they read them out. I didn't have the balls to like go on the phone to them, like because they had obviously had the radio phone in. I think that's where I first heard of Jay as well. But yeah, I was on the boards and all that, and that, you know, the Wild West type boards in the end, everyone used to be fighting on there. I think CK just had to pull it in the end.
And yeah, the mayor says, hell yeah, Jay, put Dawn on your YouTube channel.
There you go, man. Getting some love.
And saying Tubi would get some new eyes on it for sure. So yeah, you got plenty of routes you could go with it, man.
I mean, if Dan like rates it highly, then yeah, you know, Dan knows his stuff.
Right.
Dan Shine knows his stuff, man.
But I guess we'll get on to the next one, man. Well, we got to rate it first. What do you say, Jay? What do you give this out of 10?
Well, I'll give it another 8.
Okay.
Like I say, there's not a boring moment in the film. It starts off intense. It stays intense. It's real, like I say, it's not a skip through the park. It's very, very dark. But like I say, not only as a horror film and as a film, you know, dealing with the supernatural, but also I see it with Burt Young's character, kind of a character study of just abusive relationship, abusive father, and all the characters are really good and good. And that who played the priest, he was really good.
James Olsen, yeah, he's awesome.
Just a lot of great, you know, creepy moments, intense moments, good special effects. Like I say, I've seen Poltergeist right and left watching this film.
Right.
And, but yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, man. Special effects too. I forgot to touch on that with the torso and everything.
Man, that's great.
And the paintbrushes painting the wall.
Yeah.
I even like the POV shots where you just this creepy POV camera going around the house,
just following
in that
steady
basement.
hand count. Steady cam, right?
For me, I would say I'm not far away from what Jay said. Probably 7.5, touching on an 8. Like in time, probably next time I watch it, probably go up to an 8. It's not, you know, I would give the original a 9, even maybe a 10, depending on what day I watch it. So it's not quite there for me, but yeah, I love this one. A childhood memory as well. So, you know, not start.
For me, man, this one's 8.5 for me. It's just it's a solid all the way around film. It don't hold back like the first one held back quite a bit. This one don't hold back shit. Like it don't care. Fuck your feelings. You're going on this dark ass ride, and you know, hopefully you can handle it. But yeah, 8.5 all day for me. But
man, we're going from that to another film like they just pulled apart from each other.
Priest, you wanted it.
Shit. All right, but yeah, man, let me. We're about to get into some very overacting. It's entertaining as hell too.
Oh man, I just up front, man, I love this. I think, I absolutely love this one.
Oh, so we're getting into Night Killer, 1990, from Claudio Fragasso. He's made other gems like Monster Dog with Alice Cooper. Beyond the Darkness, La Casa 5. You know, that's just to name a couple. But I
was going to say though, Dirk, with the director, there's controversy over who directed what though, isn't there? with this.
With this one?
Yeah, I think Fragasso actually filmed the whole film, but then Bruno Mattei come in later and put the gore scenes in.
On this one? On Night Killer?
Yeah, on Night Killer, yeah.
I think you're mixing it with Hell of the Living Dead.
No, I think it was this one.
Well, they were a duo. They were a duo. They worked together on a lot of shit. So
yeah, it was this one because because Claudio Fragasso wrote it as well with Rosella Judy, I think it is.
Okay.
All right, because when I was talking to you earlier, I didn't. You must have been meaning the other one then, yeah.
Hell of the Living Dead. Yeah.
Oh no. Well, I presume it's right from what I've read.
They work together though. Fragasso was like the understudy of Mattei on Hell of the Living Dead. He was like the assistant director. You know.
Yeah, they've done quite a bit together.
But they did a lot of shit together. It's hard to tell them apart, like the style and everything. But on this one though, so this came out the same year as Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, and this was marketed as a sequel, as it was marketed as Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 in Italy. Believe it or not.
I know, and that blows my mind.
Right. But this is basically a serial rapist killer with a knockoff Freddy mask and weird glove terrorizes Mrs. Beck on her 2-line phone. She survives unharmed, but the trauma has caused her amnesia, so now she must put her life back in order and it herself, or stay a victim to the Night Killer's twisted games. So,
I mean, this one.
Yeah, let me just show you what we're kind of getting into here for everybody. Anybody hadn't seen it? Here we go.
Shouldn't be anything new for an asshole like you. You're full of shit yourself.
Hey, bud, what happened to your clothes?
I got molested in the little boy's room.
That scene is just...
Yeah.
That guy as well. He's so intense, and the minute he comes in the film, right, he just plays this over the top, like character.
She does too. Like and the voice, right? That raspy voice he's got, and then she's all like, just so damn over the top, like extremely. But it's
crazy because it starts off like Murder Rock, like Fulci's Murder Rock, because you got the dancing in the studio, and the way that woman gets killed. So you got the killer. He basically, one of the dancers goes back down the blonde girl, and then the killer's got this thing where he'll just rip his hand through the body, and then when she comes back into like the dance class and she's dying, it just seems to go on and on. It's so funny, but without going like straight into the film, it'd be better to ask Jay what Jay's initial thoughts are on this one as well.
I think this is a film that I would have enjoyed immensely if I had seen it, say, 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm an old fuck. I'm nearly 60 years old, and my sense of fun, it hasn't disappeared by any means, but this is the kind of movie I think I would have loved in my, mid-20s, late teens, early 20s. But watching it now, I was like, I know why people would love this movie, but I just didn't. I thought it was okay. I thought there were some amusing moments. I understand why people would love this movie for its, overacting. It's some just absolutely ridiculous moments in the film. And the girl that's like, she starts this relationship with this guy that's like abusive, but she's like attracted to him by his abuse. What do you call that? There's some kind of name for that. Relationship.
Battered woman syndrome.
Yeah. Where he's kind of like, you want to kill yourself? Here, you do it yourself, and she's attracted to him and on that level. He's abusive. She's attracted because she basically wants to die. But this guy is kind of like, he didn't want to die, and he slaps her around, and she just loves it. She eats it up.
Yeah.
But that aspect of it I thought was kind of different, kind of unique. But for the most part, I don't know. It didn't grab me. It didn't amuse me the way I'm sure it does you guys, and probably a lot of people that have seen it.
How about that opening scene though, when she's in the mirror, gets naked in the mirror, starts filling out her breasts and talking about
no reason for no reason.
And like I say, when at the ballet company, when she walks in and she's been stabbed, and the lingering moment where she takes forever to die. Yeah. I mean, I was amused, but not just overjoyed with the absurdity of it that I might have been 20 years ago.
Right. So, like, you guys, right? So, would you say he was trying to make like a satire, or would you say he was trying to play it straight and it just ended up as
he's
like
not
troll?
playing that?
For me, it's like troll too.
Is it kind of like The Room, where they thought they were doing something really unique and scary and creepy, but it's
yeah, it's hard to say which one he was going for, really.
I don't think
it works
straight with the overacting like that. I mean, they're just way too damn.
Oh man, she's terrible. That
Tara Buckman, right? So she was in Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Never Too Young to Die, Extro 2, The Second Encounter, and she done a ton of TV work in the late 70s to mid 90s. But and
the thing is, it's quite obvious as well. She's there just to get her tits out, basically. There's no kind of character with development or anything. She's just there for eye candy. Sorry, Dirk, go on.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I won't say it, we're not worried about spoilers, but I wouldn't think. But
no, don't worry about that.
No,
I did like the final shot.
Okay, yeah.
The little girl, I did like that. So.
Okay, yeah. You got John Peter Hooton playing Axel. He was in he was 17 years old when he played Midnight. He was an extra in Midnight Cowboy. So
okay, yeah.
He was in The Waltons, the old TV show, The Waltons.
Yeah, I remember that, man.
He was Jamie. He's mostly known for Doctor Strange, the 1978 TV movie.
Okay.
And you remember Mannix in the Mod Squad? He was in those too.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Inglourious Bastards, 1978. He was in that too. Okay.
Oh, nice. I've not seen the Waltons since I was a kid.
It's been a long time since I've seen the Waltons.
Yeah.
I've got every season.
Is it Richard Thomas in that? I think.
Yeah.
He's John Boy,
John Boy, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I can remember that much.
But yeah, man. I'm gonna let you take it away, Darren. You picked it.
So this takes the film, like, this takes shittiness to a whole new level as a film, right? Because just the whole acting, like you say, you've got the three main characters. I mean, the twist is so easy to work out. The whole thing, because we're going to do spoilers anyway, but the whole thing with her ex-husband, like you say, is she being kidnapped, or is he? Because she could basically just walk out the house if she wanted to. The whole thing with that.
What about the whole locked in angle?
Yeah, there's that as well. Because at first they say she's got this kind of like lost her memory or whatever, yeah?
Yeah.
None of that shit is meant to like be taken seriously. I know. But me and Dirk, we usually kind of like digging deep into some of these films. But none of that made a whole lot of sense. But in context with the film, I think you put this one on, you just go with the ride, I think. Just
yeah.
But it's Troll 2 type, it's shittiness, really. I think the three main characters are just played so over the top. That just makes for like enjoyable kind of, like 90 minutes, I think. But
right.
You've got the creepy phone calls as well at the start. I think when it starts out with that dance scene and then you got the creepy phone calls, it kind of gave me a bit of like a Fulci vibe. I know, like Murder Rock, obviously. And then it just, I don't know, man. It turns into, would you say a slasher, Dirk? More like a slasher in the end, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
with
it's
a Freddy ripoff, maybe.
a super cheesy slasher because, you know, he's ripping through these people like Jason Part 6, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, just like that shit. But then there's other parts where you see his hand hit the damn wall and it's a rubber glove, like bending.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so.
And you're wondering yourself, it just seems to go through the body, like, is that possible? No, like,
Yeah,
you know.
well, hell no. But, yeah, it's just wackadoo shit, man. That's really what it is.
Did you guess that guy to strip off in the toilet as well? Is it? And then for no reason, she's like sticks a gun at him and just says, "Well, basically, take off all your clothes." I mean, I was wondering, is this going to go anywhere, or that scene? But no, it's just he ends up going out then and kind of stalking her,
and then saving her at the beach. You know, she's trying to kill herself and shit. But
the whole dynamics of them two as well. Just when you finally realize what's going on, in terms of the killer, I wasn't surprised. I mean, I guess you couldn't, like, you probably couldn't.
Hell no, you're gonna figure that out. I mean, the killer's got a Band-Aid on his face.
Right, yeah.
For Christ's sake, like,
that's where the satire comes in, I think. But the whole thing with her ex-husband, I didn't work out mine. I don't think you could have worked that out.
No,
just plays psychotic.
I figured something was going on though, like with the husband, because especially at the very beginning where he's in the bar and shit. I don't know, but
he's just so intense and creepy straight from the start. And like Jay said, why would you have a relationship with this guy? He's like almost like a psychopath.
I guess it turns you on,
man.
Jackson Jack says that's cool. If I'm listening and hear them mention your name in a write-in section of the old show, I write it down because I sort of keep a diary of the Dead Pit where I write down memorable moments. Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'd certainly turn up in a few of those old shows.
So Jackson Jack's like the scholar of the historian of Dead Pit.
Yeah, like the super fan. Always in the chat, mine, Jackson Jack.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I've ever had a proper conversation with him, so it's nice,
Yeah, hell yeah. Saw Amityville 2 early 2000s. I give Amityville a solid 8, but I prefer the original. Both are great popcorn horror movies.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Dan Sean says SOV and lower budget SOV adjacent films are popular with the boutique companies right now. I 100% see it happening if you talk to the right people.
There you go.
Talking to you, Jay. Gore Guts, I just met Andrew Robinson from Dirty Harry. Hellraiser, he told me Dirty Harry was his first movie and he was the villain. Hell of a debut movie. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that was based on the Zodiac as well, I believe, the Zodiac Killer.
It was. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Andrew was also great on DS9. I've met him a few times over the years. It's always nice. Vanderhoff, wasn't this rumored to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 or a sequel to that? Yeah. Yep, in Italy. Got Jamie Hart in here. Amityville Horror 2 is a freaking masterpiece, and I love it with all my heart.
Hey, Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all agree it's the strongest of the three, for sure.
Oh, God, no. There's not even close either.
But, yeah, I'm just kind of looking through the chat. The hot rod was in Silent Night, Deadly Night, the one who got assaulted, the mother.
Okay.
Let's see. I recognize Peter Hooton from the Doctor Strange TV movie in '78. Yep, that's what he's mostly known for. It's unclear if the killer is a man or a monster at sometimes because most of the time he is a guy wearing a mask. But there's a scene where he punches through someone a couple scenes.
That's what I mean. That's kind of the supernatural element, like the Jason Voorhees or Freddy type element. But then he's a normal guy. So it doesn't make no sense. But I mean, that's the beauty of these films anyway. They don't need to make sense, I don't think.
Dark Star says, I've never seen this one. Now I have to check it out. I'd say, yeah.
I'd recommend it.
Just be prepared. It's goofy.
Have low expectations going in, mind, and then I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, it's not to be taken serious by no means. But Jay, man, what you got going on coming up on your channel?
I think I had set it up with Jake, and I actually forgot about tonight's show. So
Okay.
I think tomorrow night we're going to do a watch along for Sleepaway Camp, which is one of my all-time favorites. Just batshit insane, that movie, and in the best way possible.
Okay.
And of course, one of the most iconic endings of any slasher film. I think that tomorrow night, if Jake is available, that we're going to do a watch along for that, or anyone else that wants to join us, anyone you guys want to join us.
Okay.
But do a watch along for Sleepaway Camp. But I'm trying to think as far as a proper show. I'm not sure yet. I'm looking for ideas on what the subject would be, because we'll talk about movies, talk about directors, talk about music, pretty much any subjects open.
Yeah, everybody check out Jay's channel, man. Sub up. He's got it going on over there.
I mean, I'll definitely return the compliment and come on Jay's show at some point. We'll have to work out like.
Yeah, I'd love to have you. And like say, that I just sort of put that word out to anybody that might be interested in joining me live, because usually it's Jake Patton, and he's real good, and he's a huge fan of these films, so he's very knowledgeable about these films, much better than I am.
Doesn't your sister usually go on? But I think she's on a hiatus or something. She's not doing streaming for a while.
Sir?
Your sister, is she on like some kind of hiatus? She's not doing streaming.
Yeah, well, it's nothing major, but we had a little snafu, I guess you'd say. It's family stuff.
Okay.
Family related,
I know.
I love her. She's my sister, and but yeah, she won't be joining me for quite a while. So
the mayor says he's talking about Peter Hooten, John Peter Hooten. So the other show that it was Mannix, but it was also the Mod Squad he was on. So
okay.
Sorry about that, y'all. He was in an episode of Outer Limits. Yeah. Did
we give the rating on it?
No, we haven't. We haven't given a rating. What do you give it, Jay?
I'll be generous and give it a 5.
5? Damn. Okay. That ain't
like I say. For
average.
It's just for me personally. I know where it hits with a lot of people and where it hits with you guys, and I know why it does. It just didn't for me.
No, that's fine. I was actually expecting a lot lower.
Like a 2 or a 1.
But with the aspect of the girl and that sort of abusive relationship she has with that guy, I thought that put sort of an interesting twist to, which is pretty much an absurd film, overacted and just, something along the, like you said, a Troll 2 line. But that aspect of it, I think, sort of kicked it up a few notches for me. That made it a little more interesting, despite all the absurdity going on. So.
Right.
Right. For me, I got to mention as well, The Devil's Honey. It kind of it reminds me of that as well, when the guy's taking a kind of, so you've got roles reversed in The Devil's Honey. You've got a woman who takes a man captive. So it kind of reminds me of Fulci all the way. But in terms of ratings, so this is another one that I have to give 2 ratings. But in terms of a film and all that, I'm probably on the same page as Jay. I'd give it a 5. But in terms of an entertaining rating, I'd say it's an 8 or a 9. But you've got to really know what you're getting into when you get into films like this. You've got to kind of like.
I'm gonna give it one rating only. I'm giving it a 7.
A 7? That's
man.
I didn't see that come in.
It's
I thought you might have been like
it's
5
entertaining, man. It's funny. I crack up. I'll be thinking about some of those scenes and just start cracking up in my head. So, you know.
Yeah, it's not to be taken seriously at all.
Like, it's the after effect. If a film can stay with you afterwards and you still remember it, I think that's a pretty good sign. So,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's people I should, I'd probably watch it on Tubi or something before you commit to buying it. I don't want to be responsible for that, but yeah, I'd probably just check it out online.
yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on, man, for the first.
And would you do me a favor and send me when this is put up on YouTube? Would you send me a link to it so that I can, join the channel and I'd like to see it. But yeah, if you'd send me a link to this.
Yeah, for sure, man.
The show.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on the first EuroCrypt episode, man.
And I don't know if I'm joined your channel or not, but I definitely want to. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I was going to say as well, G, I know, because the concept of this show is we're going to have different guests on, try and get them to watch Italian movies and all that. But man, you're welcome anytime you want to come on, or if you see a thumbnail one week, or you realize what we're going to be doing for the, because this is going to be every 2 weeks, and you fancy popping on just to come in and have a chat, like anytime, man, because I know you're a big part of the Dead Pit.
I sure appreciate it. I've really enjoyed this, but I sure appreciate it. Yeah. And I would enjoy doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks ever so much for coming on, especially the first
appreciate
episode.
You coming on.
We had to have a big one,
Hopefully, we justified these films as good as we could, but
yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been cool. But I guess we'll get out of here, y'all, and y'all take it easy. Have a good rest of your weekend, and yeah,
have a good one, guys.
Later, y'all.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man.